2022 so far is turning out to officially be the year of VR, AR, and XR. We have seen more innovations in every space in this field, from insane sci-fi haptic feedback technology to new full body tracking solutions, some seriously impressive looking games coming up this year, and a wide variety of just insane headsets coming out in the next year. Which means more than ever people are wondering, do I buy now or do I wait for something better to come out? Well, the truth is there has truly never been a better time to get into VR. The options available means that everyone either has something they can either afford or can get exactly what they need. But a common thing I see a lot of people wondering is if they should buy now to get into it or wait until something better comes along. Now, I delved into this a bit deeper in my Valve Index review video, but I think it actually is something that still can be applied pretty broadly in VR right now. Yes, it is still a good time to get into VR. If you buy a headset now, you won't be wasting your money. There's a bunch of reasons for this too, but as it stands, almost every headset out there currently, while each has their own unique problems, are more or less just all really solid options and has something out there to please everyone. And even though there's a bunch of new headsets coming out in just the next year alone, the vast majority of them are enterprise-oriented or might not even be available to huge segments of the markets. So with that in mind, what are the headsets of 2022 and likely early 2023 that are going to be coming out? There's actually a lot within the next 365 days alone. At least 6 different headsets are officially confirmed, and at least 3 more could potentially be coming out within the same time frame. But let's dive into this. You're probably wondering, aside from the current headsets available, what will your gear be overshadowed by in the coming months and years? Probably the first and the one that has been by far hyped the most is Meta's Project Cambria headset. Even though we don't know what it's officially called yet, the codenamed Project Cambria is a standalone enterprise-focused headset that includes a number of really impressive next-gen technologies: eye tracking, face tracking, inside-out slam tracking, full RGB pass-through mixed reality, and some supposedly insanely crispy-looking high-res pancake lenses. So when taking into consideration if this is something you're going to buy, think about it like this. Are you going to spend likely well over $800 on this when it comes out? Is an enterprise-oriented, workflow-optimized headset what you're looking for in a VR headset? And how much does being slightly better than the last product mean to you? If you responded positively to all 3 of these, then sure, save your money. But I'm guessing most of you don't care about face or eye tracking except in social VR situations, but otherwise want something more affordable and geared towards gaming. Which leads us to one of our headsets that may be coming out in the next year. Meta's, obviously, the Quest 3, or whatever Meta's next Quest-like device is going to look like or be titled. Now, this is actually extremely unlikely to come out in the next year. I would expect an upgraded Quest 2 or Quest 3 device to come out more towards the end of 2023 or even early 2024, in all honesty. Meta stated on the record multiple times that they were trying to have the Quest 2 be a flagship headset for their brand for a while. If they betrayed the trust of their consumers by willy-nilly releasing a new Quest every year, I think they'd upset more than just a few people.
You're kidding! Judge.
As far as price points go, we have no idea what it looks like, but Occam's razor suggests that the price point will be very similar to the current Quest 2, but be slightly better in just about every area by comparison to its older sibling. So buying a Quest 2 right now, is it still worth it? Well, considering it's one of the cheapest headsets available by far, has one of the best warranties, doesn't have half-bad specifications, can be used both standalone and with PC VR, yeah, it's still an easy buy, a no-brainer, really. At the very least, it'll still be one of the most, if not the most, relevant headset for the next year, and probably even longer than that. Our next confirmed headset came to much hype and controversy surrounding how it was officially / unofficially discovered that this headset was confirmed. Basically, someone found some code in an Apple App Store update that said Reality OS. Days later, some anonymous sources with connections to Apple and a long track record of making accurate predictions about their announcements pretty much makes this one, while not technically confirmed, basically confirmed for all intents and purposes. It's most likely coming out in either late 2022 or early 2023, but considering they've been having issues with overheating and seen some heavy delays from supply chain shortages, probably expect 2023 just a bit more. As far as price goes for this, I mean, come on, it's an Apple product. Do you really think it's going to be less than $1,000? So the next headset, definitely confirmed, kind of came out already. At least somewhat, a little bit. The Pico Neo Link 3 is the direct Quest 2 competitor run by Chinese VR company Pico, which is owned by ByteDance, which are the proprietors of the social media giant TikTok. Prior to this month, actually, the Pico consumer products like the Neo 3 could only be found in the Asian markets. Well, they're branching out and have begun selling Pico Neo Link 3s, basically just slightly upgraded Neo 3s with a link cable attachment option for PC VR in the European markets. It's pretty limited as of right now. They're only selling in a select number of countries, but they plan on progressively branching out to more and more. The Neo Link 3 is priced just €50 higher than its Quest 2 competitor, but it comes with a much more ergonomic strap and a larger battery life than the stock Quest 2, so if you're in Europe, it might be worth waiting for this to reach your country if you just despise the thought of giving money to Meta. I assume eventually they're going to make a North American launch, but I think they want to lock down their European demographic first so that they don't, get ahead of themselves. Speaking of getting ahead of themselves, Pico also pretty much accidentally stated through their Pico Neo Link 3 beta program that they're releasing another headset before the end of the year, most likely. Technically, this one is still a maybe, because Pico has not officially confirmed this one at all, and Pico may have a repackage of their own previous products in mind as well, specific to the European market, similar like with the Link 3. But it is speculated that a Pico Neo 4, as it's being called, will come before the end of 2022 and possibly even to the North American market. It reportedly has all the same specs as, you guessed it, Meta's upcoming Project Cambria, and extremely similar tech too. Face tracking, eye tracking, slam tracking, all the stuff I already said, basically. And speaking of Chinese headsets that are coming out, the arpara 5K is an interesting little minimalistic standalone headset that is coming to the North American market supposedly very soon. This headset was always very interesting to me, but also strange. It kind of feels like an odd man out in the game right now because it feels like it awkwardly falls between trying to be consumer or enterprise oriented simply due to the specs and price point it's geared towards. The added fact that it's standalone makes me feel like it's a smaller early version of Project Cambria, but honestly its visuals seem like they're going to be pretty jaw-dropping. Though the FOV is only 95 degrees, it still sports some insane high-res 5160 by 2560 pixel micro OLED pancake lenses, runs between 90 and 120 Hz, and weighs just 200 grams. Now, this can vary between models to some degree as there are different options to choose from, so these specs change a bit from model to model, but for Kickstarter backers, the headset comes in at a very palatable range of between $400 and $600. If you plan on buying it after it comes out, well, more looking like Valve Index's $1,000 range. So yeah, unless you're trying to blow $1,000 on a standalone headset, Quest 2 it is. Speaking of Valve Index, a maybe, and it's definitely a maybe here, is Valve's next project, codenamed Deckard. Honestly, we don't really know all that much about it so far. Gabe Newell runs a tight ship at Valve, and they never release or announce anything until they are well and close to being ready for launch. So far, all we really have are some proof of concept and design patents, the fact that it will likely be standalone with a tethered option or tethered interoperability, and some code information thanks to the man, the myth, the legend, sadly it's Bradley. Will it come out in the next year? It's possible. I wouldn't completely write it off, but honestly, if Valve hasn't said anything yet, I don't really think so. Valve will want Deckard to epitomize next-gen tech, which means all the stuff and things with the tracking, the eye tracking, the face tracking, all the things. Yeah, you know the thing. This also means it likely won't be coming anytime soon, and likely will not be cheap. I'd personally guess even more than the Valve Index currently, but definitely not less. So, unless you're planning on selling your kidney to a afford the Deckard whenever it comes out, yeah, there's still a ton of great options out there currently. Speaking of taking out a reverse mortgage on your house to afford stuff, the Pimax 12K Reality is a just absolutely insane headset docked to release in late 2022. It's got a mind-blowing over 150 degrees of FOV horizontally, up to 200 Hz refresh rate, two 6K 5760 by 3240 per eye QLED panels, capable of tethered or wireless PC VR, and total standalone thanks to a Snapdragon XR2. So do you think this is going to be a cheap headset? This baby is going to come in at a whopping $2,400 just to start, which means there's likely upgraded packages and options we still don't know about. So I mean, sure, if you're planning on selling your children to buy a VR headset, by all means wait until this comes out, but I imagine for most of you, anything over even $1,000 is completely off the table. And finally, probably one of the most exciting and highly anticipated VR headsets of 2022 will likely not come out in 2022. I mean, it might. It's not that it isn't possible, and Sony has said that they planned for a late 2022 release for PSVR 2, but there's supply chain shortages and several reports that people close to Sony are saying it looks like it's probably closer to 2023, but we will see. In any case, this headset is shaping up to be honestly one of the most technologically impressive VR headsets of the next gen. Some insane high-res specs, immersive haptic feedback technology integrated into the controllers, and even the headset itself, a insanely comfortable looking ergonomic design, smart eye tracking technology, smart eye foveated rendering. The PSVR 2 is a VR tech junkie's not try dream. In any case, the main question people are asking about this headset right now is, will it be compatible with PC VR, or can it be used standalone? Well, there was an early design patent for the PSVR 2 that made it PC compatible. That doesn't necessarily mean it will make it to the end product. It could, but it isn't confirmed. As for standalone, probably not. It looks like this headset was designed to be tethered, so while again, I wouldn't completely rule out the possibility, it just doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, it's still really hard to tell what the price point for this thing is going to be, and Sony hasn't really been all that great about giving us all the details on this thing yet, but given the abundance of next-gen technology on this guy, I could easily see this thing costing over $600, probably honestly closer to $800 or $1,000, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below so that we can talk about it. But that's it, ladies and gents. Every single VR headset confirmed and unconfirmed that may or may not be coming out in the next 365 days. I'm your host, that's me, Gramsy. Remember to punch the like button if you thought this video was informative, subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content next week, and hit that notification bell if you just cannot stand missing out on this oh so very sweet VR content. I love each and every one of you beautiful feather muckers. Until next time, Gramsy out.